I don't I don't typically do videos like this, but something about the video I've just seen by Rooftop Eagle. If you want, check it out in the description bar because what I'm about to say is is designed more for the questions and statements that he provided there. Uh, I typically I typically won't attempt to refute a cut and dry atheist, a person who said there's no point in me necessarily discussing further with somebody whose mind is so made up. I mean, what would the point be of the conversation after that, to change my mind about something I know to be true? And the idea here is that we are indeed in pursuit of truth. And when you're in pursuit of truth, then you're not afraid of information and you're not afraid of discovering the truth. Now, how do you get to the truth? You have to find it for yourself. But how do you find it for yourself in a faith that requires faith? Faith being the evidence or in the belief in things as yet unseen. Unlocks the faith and the knowledge and the truth. For starters, I am extremely unqualified to talk about the things that I'm about to. As you can tell from my behavior on YouTube, nobody needs to say like, oh, look, why listen to him? He drops the F-bomb, he curses. I've seen him with a beer in his hand. I've seen all kinds of stuff. I heard him tell stories about things that he used to do. Yeah, most definitely. Now, if you could stand there and look me dead in the eye and say, listen, if you could alter your behavior and be a purely good person, and I would then believe in God, then I would most definitely alter my behavior, which is probably something that I should do anyway. I stand as a man in need of redemption. The only time I will know that I'll go to heaven is when I pass away and I'll be there. And, maybe the Lord will greet me as a friend, or maybe I could be one of those people who shouted, Lord, Lord, and he said, depart from me, I never knew you. Based on my experience and the things that I've seen and the things that I have felt, I feel like as if he does know me, and I feel like as if I know him. Now, part of your guidelines is you would like to have non-biblical sources. You don't want to necessarily talk to a person that'll say, oh, 1 Corinthians yada yada says you better do what I say here. We'll put that aside for now. And this will be split up into parts, as you're interested in. I mean, if you're not, then that's okay too. What I would like to start with, and I think one thing that is critical, would be proof in fact that there is a God, a higher being, a deity of some sort, an actual creator of the intelligent design of this universe. Mathematics and science, in my opinion, I believe, serve as proof to intelligent design. A random design and a random creation, I don't think we would be able to take science and mathematics and be able to quantify things like life and creation, which we can, down to the DNA and molecular level. So you know where I'm coming from. I believe that science and mathematics serve as proof to a higher being. I share this belief with guys like, who's that? The Apple guy. Oh, I know off the top of my head. Anyway, the big guy in more recent times would be Albert Einstein. Who is that guy? Now it's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, he's a big deal. He's a big deal in science. A guy that quantified gravity. The more I learn about Galileo, his science didn't disprove religion as the church at that time thought. It served to prove religion. It mathematically quantified the intelligent order of things. things that are created usually have a reason behind their creation. And because we can take apart and mathematically and scientifically prove the reason for things' existence, I feel serves as proof for intelligent or constructed design. So you pointed out that you do feel, in fact, that there is a higher power. Then I would say yes. So we can probably move forward from there. If you have anything more on that, just go ahead and feel free to let me know one way or the other. The next part would be that we would need to get over would be the corruption of mankind. Is there proof that man himself, like my behaviors and the behaviors of others and some of our human nature, serves to go against the intelligent design of creation? I would say yes. As an animal in the world, if we want to look at man as an animal in the world, we are one of the few creatures that feel the need to change our environment instead of adapting to it. That in and of itself, I believe, serves as evidence to the corrupt nature of man. You know, we need to construct a shelter where we want it. You know, we need to break these rules of the natural order of things. And so many times when we break these rules of the natural order of things, it serves to add to our destruction. You know, example, you want to make shelter, okay, so that you can be warm and cozy. So you chop down a whole bunch of trees that are on a hillside, and you build your house in this beautiful valley. It's very scenic. However, because you chopped down those trees on the hillside, you've all of a sudden disrupted the soil, and what would have stayed up on the hill now comes down in a rain of mud the next time that it rains while you're in your shelter, thus destroying you. Like, you destroyed yourself. Would it be fair at that point if you chopped down those trees and put up your house, and because you chopped down those trees and the hill came down on you, that would it be fair at that point to say, well, why didn't God do anything? Well, in my opinion, say that because of God's design, those trees ended up in that hill in a very certain fashion. The way that the grass grew on the hill in a very certain fashion would have prevented that hillslide from landing upon you. Before we get too much further, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I'm sure that I have earned myself quite a few unsubscribers from this, and I can live with that. I'm not, comments are open, of course. You don't even have to be respectful if you don't want to. I was going to say something else. Sir Isaac Newton, that's the guy. Took me a while. Sir Isaac Newton, I'll be darned. So if I can, let this serve as an introduction and the opening up of this dialogue, and I'm very glad. And your video touched me. It really it made me take a look again at my faith and another exploration into the truth that I feel personally I've personally gotten too far away from. So I would like to thank you for asking those questions at just the right time for me to hear them. And I look forward to this continued discussion. Thanks again.